Valeria is 53 years old, holds $1 million across her RRSPs, TFSAs, and GICs, and wants to stop working at 55. The critical gap is not the size of her portfolio, it is the 10-year stretch between retirement and when CPP and OAS can realistically take over. That decade is where retirement plans quietly fail. CPP and OAS do not start automatically at 55. Full OAS eligibility begins at 65, and while CPP can be taken as early as 60, claiming it early permanently reduces the monthly payment. For Valeria, retiring at 55 means her portfolio and any employer pension must carry the full load for at least a decade before government income meaningfully arrives. If Valeria has a defined benefit or defined contribution employer pension that pays out starting at 55, that income acts as an anchor, reducing how aggressively she needs to draw on her invested savings. Without knowing the pension amount, this is the single biggest variable in her plan. A pension covering even half her monthly expenses could preserve the portfolio for decades. Every dollar pulled from an RRSP is fully taxable in the year it is withdrawn. If Valeria draws heavily from her RRSP before 65 to fund living costs, she could push herself into a higher marginal tax bracket and potentially trigger OAS clawback later when government benefits begin. The sequence of which account she draws from first, RRSP, TFSA, or GIC, has real and lasting tax consequences. The TFSA portion of her portfolio is the most flexible tool she has. Withdrawals are tax-free and do not affect income-tested benefits like OAS or GIS. Drawing from the TFSA strategically in years where RRSP withdrawals would push her into a higher bracket can meaningfully reduce her lifetime tax bill. This is not about avoiding taxes, it is about smoothing taxable income across a 30-plus year retirement. A 55-year-old woman in Canada can statistically expect to live into her mid to late 80s. That is potentially 30 years of retirement spending. $1 million divided across 30 years is roughly $33,000 per year before investment returns, before inflation, and before any pension or government income. With those additions, the picture improves, but inflation eroding purchasing power over 3 decades is not a small risk. Valeria's situation is not a question of whether she has enough, she likely does, especially with a pension and eventual CPP and OAS. The question is whether she draws down accounts in the right order to minimize tax drag over 30 years. If you are watching this within 10 years of your own target retirement date, the next video worth your time is how RRSP meltdown strategies work before age 65. If this breakdown was useful, subscribing keeps this kind of analysis in your feed.